Watch us on YouTube.
Listen on your favourite podcast platform.
Or ask your smart speaker
To play the podcast Leicester Till I Die.
Subscribe, like, follow, and join in now.
Start with Chris, add a dash of sport, squeeze in some music, then shake, don't stir. And you've got the ultimate blend, LTID, with your host, Chris.
Hello, good evening and welcome. I'm here. Just hang on a minute. There we go. I thought I was as prepared as I could be. And a bit like Leicester City preparing for a match, I made a complete and utter mess of it. How the devil are we all? Welcome along, whether you are watching on Leicester Till I Die TV, LTID TV, or whether you are watching on the Dugout Football channel. It's another joint promotion, which I must admit does worry me, because last time Doug had a joint promotion, Rebecca got pregnant and having a baby boy. So congratulations to them anyway, and welcome along to what I can only say is probably going to be about 60 minutes of Doug looking very happy and smug and smiling, and Craig and me crying into our bothrils. But look, we can but hope. This is football. It is the hope that kills us. And this is LTID TV from Leicester Till I Die, live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, along with Dugout Football channel on Twitter and YouTube as well. For those of you listening to us on Catch Up on the podcast, your favourite podcast platform, whichever that is, it's Leicester Till I Die. And if you are that rich that you own smart speakers, just ask it to play the podcast Leicester Till I Die. And of course, you can find us on all our socials, as it says there, LTID TV or Leicester Till I Die, one of them on, well, basically everything that you want to find us on. A couple of hellos before we start and bring the guests in. And basically, we are shite at footy. I'd like to argue with you, Ant, but I can't. Doug, who's going to be joining us in a second. Big up everybody watching over here. Oh, right, sorry. There was a message. Craig's had to have a... Well, you know what, Craig? I don't want to say anything, but he is getting on a little bit. And he does have to sort of have these toilet breaks every now and again. So he's gone. So we'll drag the intro out a little bit longer until he comes back. Can't argue with Ant at all. Steve says, good evening. Good evening, Steve. How are you? Nate, good evening. We're as well as we can be. DHTV, welcome over from Doug's channel. You are most welcome, sir. Be sure, if you are watching on Doug's channel, to make sure to give it a subscribe and smash the likes, whichever side you're on. It appears Craig's back from the toilet, and it's his bladder. It's his bladder. Need a big win for goal difference. I think we could both argue that. We'll take a 1-0. He's gone for a shit. He has indeed. He has indeed. But he's back from outer space. Turn around now and take that look up off your face. Here he is, the wise one, the old one, Craig.
How you doing? And
well,
contrary to popular belief, it wasn't a toilet break. I'd left my tea in the kitchen.
Which is more important, you know.
Well, indeed. I'm just going to sit here slurping while you have your little mini rant, Chris.
Well, that's another age thing, isn't it? I've told you about slurping in public. TH, I had kind of worked that out. But look, there's going to be a Diddy Dougie Dave coming along soon with the baby. We know it's a boy. Doug, let me just bring you fully into focus. Disappointed, please? It's the boy. Not really disappointed, obviously, but you can always go for a girl next time.
Well, first of all, thank you very much for the lovely well wishes from you both. No, I'm absolutely delighted it's a boy. I wanted a boy. Becca's been wanting a girl, so Jesus Christ, Brad. Yes, but no. Good evening, everybody. Hope Hope everyone is well. And obviously, if you are watching, obviously on my channel and on Chris's, please do remember to hit that like button and also do hit that subscribe button.
Yeah. And somebody who's, I can probably say, whether we stay up or go down, is actually their team is probably having the worst season than either of us two together. TM, the Spurs fan, is in. Good evening. How are you? Welcome along. Oh, well. It's been a while, TM. Craig's been. Is that TM back in yet? He wouldn't come on unless he knew you were coming in, TM. So it's nice to see you. To see you.
Nice.
Well, thank you. God. keep up, guys. Keep up. Look, as Brad said there, Brian and Gorinda. I've got to say at this point, a big, huge thank you to TalkSport, who sent me the tapes and allowed me to use them. It was part of a 2-hour long show when Brian and Gorinda got mentioned. I cut it down just for a bit of fun and put it out there as just a 10-minute joke one. But if you haven't seen it, do get over to LTID TV on YouTube and look out for this.
I'm not going to watch Championship football. No way.
What?
I'm not going to watch it. No.
Right, Corinda, you are an absolute... Do you know what, right?
So you want to go and watch Liverpool play, but you won't go and watch them play Plymouth for next season or Rotherham?
Rotherham? No. Do you know what? I'm Premier League. I am elite.
Oh, my God!
Oh,
Here we go.
back to the serious stuff.
Yeah, if we can, please, quickly. My career's going down the pan here. Okay.
Oh.
Talking of, right, let's get back to being miserable. We're Leicester fans.
Oh, why can't we keep talking about the life of Brian and Gorinda?
He's got the Messiah.
He's a very stupid boy.
You just joined. What the hell?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you have no idea. If you've joined in just then, you have no idea. Go and watch it back, please. Oh. 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 Oh.
Please, come on, please now. Brian. Gorinda's the mother. It says it.
Separated at birth, that had me, mate. Separated at birth. Oh.
Right. So let's before I'm going to have to. I really am. Right. Let's bring ourselves back down to earth. I mean, okay, we didn't. Alan said, Stop it, Dad.
My man of the match is now Gorinda. There you go. That's what I'm awarding it to. Support.
Enough for Gorinda, obviously. Look.
In fact, people in the comments, who was your man of the match for the Fulham game? Was it Brian or Gorinda? Let's find out who you think was better. Jesus Christ.
So cold.
Oh. I'm dying here. I'm dying. Oh. I'm going to have to mute myself in a minute to stop it.
There was like 10 minutes of that, and every time I got over and I controlled myself and was ready, Brad had come up with some other comment. And the Life of Brian one absolutely floored me, and I do have to totally rethink my career at this point. But I did promise Brad something. Brad, this is just for you.
Elite.
There we go, Brad. Thank you. I've got to say, as a fellow Leicester fan, I mean, it followed on from Brian, which was good. I mean, look, I was absolutely peed off, as you'll see in a minute. But look, Craig, Boris keeps coming on. Here we go. Boris has just come in here. Why do you find that Leicester fan being on Elite Club so amusing? I mean, if you don't laugh at it, Craig, you would cringe with embarrassment, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I don't. Do you? Who views us as an elite club?
Gorinda, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I would hazard to guess that Gorinda is a short-term fan. I'm guessing, and may have come along in the last few years, and only ever seen the elite side of Leicester. You know, games where we used to beat Liverpool, them kind of things. You know, them old days.
Yeah, when Vardy would score virtually just inside their own half.
Exactly.
Those days. I mean, I have to admit, and I've been very critical of a lot of sort of Man United
Everyone.
fans.
You've been critical of everyone, Chris.
I basically am, yeah. I mean, the Newcastle fans peed me off again midweek with the old Maddison in a Newcastle shirt. I mean, grow up and get out of infant school, please. Bit of money and you've totally changed. But look, that's going to go down well next week, isn't it, when we have Newcastle on? When you look at, like, I mean, if you are under 30, and even probably under 20, you do not remember when Man United didn't have any success. You know, you've only ever known Man United as a successful club. And a lot of now, she's not obviously young, but I had a guy on before, we did a bit with a young lad called Mason, who's 14, and he's trying to start his own YouTube. And so me and Brad were doing a sort of a pretend show with him and what have you. And like he said, when he's 14 and he's never known anything other than success for Leicester.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's it. You know, you being, you know, I remember back in the day when you were a big fan of the old Etonians, Chris, and you used to enjoy their, you know, Champions and FA Cup winning seasons back in the 1880s. But for anyone who's a bit younger, it is, you do see that. And I guess as older fans, we forget that, you know, we came and joined our club whenever we were, whatever age we were. And it could have been us, you know, it could have been us joining at a period when your team was just winning. But it wasn't, you know, because we supported our sort of, you know, local club who were, you know, the one that you could go and see week in, week out. And so you grew up with all that up and down stuff. So I think there is definitely an age thing, and I don't think you can necessarily knock people for it because it is what they've known, and they don't understand the, you know, the joys that a season in a lower league can bring. Can you tell that I'm trying to talk myself into the fact that it might not be so bad that we're going down?
Joys, yeah.
The joys of a championship season.
What can I just say? If anybody wonders why I've suddenly gone with the Premier League trophy background there, I've only got a couple of weeks left using it, so let me enjoy it while I can. Doug, on the other hand, most younger Liverpool fans don't know success, and I'm not being sarcastic there, because you've obviously won Champions Leagues in recent years. You know, you had the great season when you won virtually everything, including the Merseyside egg and spoon race. But you know, when you compare it to Liverpool, sort of pre-Alex Ferguson at Man United, I mean, they were the Man United of the time.
Yeah, 100%. The 90s was probably, obviously, the 90s was obviously when I was born, so that kind of can give give my age away. But we weren't very, very successful in the 90s. Yes, we made a couple of finals here and there, but yeah, Manchester United were definitely the team of the 90s and the early sort of noughties as well. So yeah, I think many people growing up would obviously know Manchester United to be a very, very successful club. So I don't think they're kind of experienced with what's happened to Manchester United in the last 10 years or so. So, but no, I've got to say that it is a very, very interesting thing. Thanks, Niall. I appreciate that, mate. I think as well, like, not many people would obviously know, like, Everton as well. I know Everton haven't, won many things anyway, but 1995 was obviously their last trophy as well. But yeah, I think if you're a sort of a new fan, you're probably now sort of growing into an age where, yes, Manchester United were one of the greatest sides in the early 90s and obviously the noughties. And it must be very, very difficult being a fan of that club to know that they haven't had much success as now.
No. And just before we get into, obviously, I'm trying to delay it as long as possible. We are going to have to talk about the game the week or Monday night. 7 years ago, we were winning the Premier League. That bloody trophy behind there, which is like a albatross around our neck. And we were celebrating. We were happy. I was drunk on the radio. I was going into work drunk the next day in my shirt, and bugger didn't mind who knew. And it's taken me down now to this.
Mm.
Do you know, I watched Everton after our game finished. 5 goals they scored. Yeah, that rings a bell, doesn't it? Fulham got 5. But Everton were playing Brighton. Now, Everton are a team who are in deep doo-doos, pretty much like us. But the difference between Everton and Leicester is they had players that wanted to fight for the shirt, that wanted to fight for the club, that wanted to keep the club in the top division. They had some pride for the people that had gone to support them, had travelled all the way down from Liverpool to the south coast to support them. They put a display on. They played like they wanted to stay in the Premier League. Our lot, fucking powder puff girls could play better than them. I hope, and I put this tweet out, and it was, "Dear Leicester City players, I do hope you're watching Everton, because that is how we expect you to play. That is what we expect from our players." What did we get today? A load of fucking shit. That this club has been turned into a joke. A club that other clubs were looking and saying, that's the way we want our club to be run. We want to base our club and the way we run our club on the Leicester City model. Fucking model. Wheels coming off the wagons and all sorts. All of them have come off. Craig, I've put it there. Gutless. Once we were fearless.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a few years now, and probably ever since I've been on this channel, that the one thing that we lack and has been clearly lacking is some fight, some fight, some leaders on the pitch. I've said it. I've said it for a long time now. I can't remember the last time, that we had anyone that you would think would just literally roll his sleeves up and try and win a game on his own and just rally everybody around them. The one player that you look to. I cannot stick Jordan Henderson, Doug, but I wish we had a Jordan Henderson in the middle of our park, someone who wouldn't let standards drop. And that's what I think Henderson has done over the past few years. If people are not putting the effort in, he's the guy who will tell them that they're not putting the effort in and they're not doing enough to warrant wearing the shirt, to wear the badge. We have no one like that. There's no one who has that level of command of respect or even respecting themselves. I mean, I'm sure we've all played football at some point. I used to hate walking off a pitch, and if we've lost, or even if we won, but particularly if you've lost and you look to your right and your left and your teammates are having a laugh and a joke about walking off a bit. I used to hate that. And that was playing Saturdays and Sundays. There should be that level of personal pride that you've given every ounce that you could give when you walk off that pitch. You've been beaten by a better team. No one can take it. But if you haven't given it all, for me, and I'm sure for every football fan, that's just not acceptable.
Doug, I've been saying, and I'm blue in the face till I'm saying this, and I am ashamed to be a Leicester fan at the moment. And you've just got married. I got married lots and lots of years ago. I'm no longer with the lady, technically still married, but no longer with her, because you can change your partner. You have kids. They go up, leave home, go to other parts of the country, even other countries. but your club, you stuck with it. I know I can't suddenly
Yeah.
say, "Oh, I want to go and support." I'll start. Somebody on your channel the other day, I think, when I was in the chat, said, "I hope you have a bit more fun this weekend." And I jokingly said, "Only if I start supporting Everton." But that is what it has come down to. You said before we came on, you could not believe that we'll be talking about this like we are tonight.
No, I can't believe you're in a relegation battle. I'm absolutely stunned at how poor your season has been. I think it's been a car crash from start to finish. I don't understand why you kept Rodgers for so long. And there were countless times that you could have gone. There's countless times you could have gone this season. Like, you think of the defeats to Brighton, you think of the defeats to Tottenham. They were really, really bad defeats. Like 5-2, 6-2. Like the Fulham result that we kept, that was shocking. That was absolutely shocking. I watched the highlights to that, and the amount of space that Fulham were getting through Leicester was a joke. Was an absolute joke. I only see a couple of players that should hold their heads high for this season. Harvey Barnes for one of them. I think Harvey Barnes has been really, really good.
Oh.
Madison to an extent.
Calm down, Craig. Calm down.
Madison to an extent. However, I do think that he has definitely got a move on his mind. I think he's got a move on his mind. I think the one big error for me was not replacing Kasper Schmeichel. Yes, look, Ward, very good goalkeeper. Doesn't strike me as a number one. Never has, never will. The only time he really struck me as a number one was obviously when I think he was at Aberdeen in Scotland. I think he may have been at Wrexham potentially as well. Daniel Iverson did very well at Preston. Did very, very well at Preston. But this is too big pressure on two goalkeepers. Now, you've obviously got Alex Smithies as well. Now, look, Alex Smithies has not played in the top flight before. He's not played in the top flight before. So I think it's down to bad management. I think it's bad recruitment. And for me, most of the players are down tools because I think most of the players are probably thinking, yeah, we're going to get a move next season. I honestly cannot believe what I've been watching these past few weeks. And you kept Rodgers way, way too late. If you got rid of him with about 12, 13, 14 games, I reckon you would have had an even better chance of staying up. But the fact is, you've obviously got us to on Monday. You have to make advantage of your home games. That's the thing. I mean, you go to Newcastle. That's your final, away game. That's not an easy game either. So, but the one thing you're missing is a Nigel Pearson. Someone who knows the call. Look, I know you've got Craig Shakespeare. I can get that. I know you've got Craig Shakespeare. But Nigel Pearson would not have let this happen. He wouldn't. He wouldn't have let this happen. And the one reason he was let go of because I think it was a trip to Thailand. Obviously went completely wrong. But Nigel Pearson would not have allowed this to have happened. Look, for as much good that he has done. 192 million of his own money into the club, which I think is absolutely wonderful. He is massively at fault here because he kept Rodgers way, way too soon, and he could see what was happening all season.
Craig, I mean, he's managed to upset both of us in one answer there. Barnes for you, Maddison for me, both of which have been prima donnas this year. Maddison's more bothered about smiling for the cameras in case anybody's watching him, making sure he's got his hair in place. He's overrated, overpaid, and over here, as they used to say about the Americans in the war. And as soon as he goes, in fact, all jokes aside to Newcastle, come and get him as quick as you can. And you're not impressed with Barnes, are you? But it's a fair point because, I've said this so many times, that Great Escape year, I travelled at 8 hours return. It gets longer every time I tell this story. 7 to 7.5 hours return every home game to watch us lose. But we were putting a stint in. There was not one player in that Fulham game that could give an arse. We haven't passed. Now, yes, I agree. Top has got to take a lot of the blame because, as we were saying before we started the show, if he'd come out and explained about the situation financially in the summer, the fans would have gone, okay, we understand, we get it. But it created such a toxic atmosphere that just carried on and carried on. He has to take a lot of the blame. And the arguments that he's over in Thailand and he's trying to sort out King Power, he's got fucking John Rudkin and Susan Whelan. He should be jumping on top of them as to why is this happening, why is that happening. 14-15, completely different to now, wasn't it, Craig?
Yeah, I think what's happened when you can look back now over the past couple of seasons almost is that the club is in many ways a reflection of the fans in terms of, I think a lot of the fans and the club did get ideas above their station. I think we had this dream that we could upset the elite, that we'd won it. Okay, right, we won it. It was a freak season, we won it. But then we made the mistake of backing it up with 2 seasons where we could have got in the Champions League. And then what that starts to put in the mindset of a football club is that they are elite and they should. And so what we did was we moved away from what was our core, which was hardworking, hungry players the team was greater than the sum of its parts. And we started buying footballers instead of characters. And I think any team like us in our position, where we are in the middle of, in realistic terms, we're not a top 6, top 8 club. A middling Premier League club has to have success based on the character of your team and the character of your players. You cannot sustain trying to buy elite players or players who are going to see you as a stepping stone, because that's what we were and that's what players see us as. Hang on a minute. The big boys don't want to take a chance on me, so I'll go to Leicester. I'll show what I can do for a season or 2 and then I'll go. And we were putting the players and thinking that the club would be carried along on the ambition of the players. But when you're doing that, you know that it's the ambition of the players that is going to outrun the club and they'll move on. And then you're going to you can't always find players. Unless you've got an academy that is churning them out, you can't always have the success that we had. So it does become cyclical. And one of Sky's favourite games for rerunning was on again last night. It was that Leicester Man United game, 5-3. You just look at the team we had out then. That was a team, probably none of them would get in the team today based on talent, but they all had some character about them. Richie Delat was running rings down the right-hand side. You got Nugent. I mean, we had Dean Hammond in the middle of that. Dean Hammond was playing centre midfield. And we beat Man U 5-3 because
he also had Cambiasso. Let's not,
I'm not saying every one of them, but you can afford to have 1 or 2 of those sprinkled around. You can't have 6, 7, 8 of those and expect to have, some hard-working, grafting players. You need to have them sprinkled about.
You do, and I want to come back to on another point Doug made, but I just want to reply to Boris here. Because Boris said, I was embarrassed watching Chris and Bad laughing hysterically about Gurinder thinking that Leicester are an elite club. It's been a bad season, but we have a bit of pride. We are Leicester. Look, we all have pride, mate, but if you think Leicester are an elite club, then you can go and sit in the same room as Gurinder. We are not an elite club. We are not. We've had a couple of good seasons, but we're not a top 6, top 7 club. We are a mid-table club that had a couple of good seasons. I think to call us elite, and it wasn't, being a Leicester fan, there was a way that she was reacting that was totally and absolutely embarrassing. I think Brad summed it up when he said he's never been so embarrassed second, place for somebody else being a Leicester fan. the way that she was coming over, that if she was a true Leicester fan, would she say, I'm not going to go to Rotherham and support them? Now, I'm not one of these that says, well, you know, you don't go to a game, you're not a supporter. But she's a Glory supporter because she wants to go and watch against Liverpool. And she was berating, at one point, she was saying, I'll pick, it was the guy that was before, Brian up, because Brian was throwing his ticket away. And he was another one, throwing his ticket away. Didn't want to give it to somebody else, so they didn't want to put them through it. Look, we'll all criticise, but when you're doing that, and then she says, like, well, yeah, I'm going to go to Liverpool, but I'm not going to go to Rotherham next season. Boris, take a look at yourself in the mirror, mate. Swivel your head. If you don't like what you're watching and you get embarrassed, don't watch it. It's as simple as that. You know, it's your choice. Craig, I wanted to come back to you, though. Would Vichai have let this get to this position? And I know that's very much hypothetical.
No, I don't think he would, to be honest. I think what you've got is, you know, Vichai was a very successful businessman. You know, he wasn't someone who'd been thrust into that position. He was a successful businessman, and he saw it. You know, as much as people say, I hate seeing my football club as a business, from his perspective, he ran it like a business. You know, and that's where we were successful. And he made decisions that weren't popular because he was ahead of the curve, as it were. He could see where things were going, and he wouldn't let sentiment get in the way of his vision. And I think you got Kuntop now doesn't have that experience. And let's not kid ourselves. Brendan Rodgers is probably a fantastic bullshitter. So when he's sitting in a room with people who are less experienced than he is, I can imagine that he could sit him down and say, it's fine, look at the quality of players, it's going to turn around, these things happen, blah, blah, blah. And it would have been difficult for him to say, actually, Brendan, you're talking shite. I'm kicking you out. I can understand how he's got a little bit brainwashed listening to Brendan, and he's left it too late to make a decision. And I don't think his dad would have done that. No.
Doug, we're still with you. We do. We'll get onto the game because you've been sat there very patiently, letting us go through our little rant. There's a lot of games. Sorry, Terry's just said here on that point, a lot of fans were too passive when it came to Rodgers. Look, we've all sat here, you know, we've all put baked beans in our eyes because we all know hindsight is a very good thing.
Very good, Chris. Very good.
Very good.
Thank you. Come on, 33 minutes into the show, and that was the first one.
Chris, should we just leave it there for tonight? Because I'm not sure that's anything's going to beat that. I think you've peaked.
I was always my trouble. Maybe that's why my wife's no longer with me. I always peaked early. You know? But,
maybe we could live without the wisecracks.
I think we possibly should. Yeah, I think we all, I mean, yuck. Hindsight is a very good thing. If you'd said to both of us, Craig, I mean, I think it was you, wasn't it, that said to your son, when Martin O'Neill, enjoy these years, they may never come again. And, you know, I actually told that story to my son the other day. And I said, you know, the same literally applies now. And, you know, you look, and let me put this to you, Doug. I mean, it's totally different, but your club's gone from the, like say, pre-Fergie years of when you were dominant to not being in that position now. All right, you know, you're still in the top division and everything, but when you've had that success, it does hurt that bit more, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And I think, you know, last season was a big example of that. You know, we did win, obviously, the League Cup. We did win the FA Cup as well. But this season has been completely different. But there is one thing that I think you said is absolutely spot on. You can change your partner. You can change everything like that. But you cannot change your football club. You support them through thick and thin. You support them through the bad times. Look, we had bloody Roy Hodgson in 2010, and I'm still a big supporter of my football club. It was that bad.
Right.
Basically, when Kenny Douglas took over, I think we were 12th in the league, and basically by the international break, I think we were 18th. So that's how bad it got. But no, I think the last couple of seasons, like everything looks towards us, challenging Manchester City. This season has been completely different. But I've got to give credit to Arsenal. I've got to give credit to Newcastle, because I think both of them have had a fabulous season. And there was a very, very interesting stat. In fact, Liverpool haven't actually been in the top 4 all season. So if we were to get top 4, then you can kind of say that overall the 38 games, and you do deserve it. But if you're looking at that, as you say, hindsight is a wonderful thing. We probably don't deserve top 4. We were 12 points behind Manchester United 6 weeks ago. And look what's happened to that. I think the pressure's got to Manchester United. I think it's got to Newcastle slightly as well. But we are still in the race for top 4. How? I don't know. But we are on a very, very good winning run. And we are scraping through games as well, which I've noticed as well. Obviously, Brentford 1-0. Tottenham we almost threw away. TM, I know you're in the chat. Richarlison getting an equaliser was one of the worst things that could have happened, because that was obviously his first Spurs goal. But to obviously go up the other end and obviously get the winner was very, very good. We've smashed teams as well, 6-1 against Leeds. But then again, you look at what Leeds have done obviously under Garcia, and Big Sam's in. You're looking at the table now, and it's quite actually sort of similar to sort of 2004, because Leicester and Leeds were actually both in the relegation zone when they were when it was 2004. So it was actually a little bit of a similar story. Southampton are gone for me. So I think it's basically between when I obviously look at that table. Everton for me, are they safe? No, not yet. I look at your next 3 games, obviously Monday evening, and against Newcastle, and then obviously against West Ham. That West Ham game is massive, because I already think West Ham are safe, especially with that win against Manchester United at the weekend. I think they are safe. So it's definitely one from Nottingham Forest, Everton, Leicester, and Leeds to go down now for me. I think it could come down to goal difference. So if it does come down to goal difference, then you look at Nottingham Forest's goal difference and think, Here we go. We can get a couple of results. We can maybe draw with them. Then Forest go down, and then obviously with Leeds as well. But it has been it's been like a roller coaster. There's been twists, there's been turns. It's been very, very strange, very, very strange season for us. But I did say at the start of the season that there would be a drop off. How big the drop off, I didn't expect it to be as it has been. But what I did actually say as well, you are allowed one bad season and then see what actually happens in the summer and obviously August, September. Klopp has made big mistakes. He has made a lot of mistakes this season. Too stubborn with his tactics, although we have obviously changed to sort of it looks like it's almost a hybrid. It's like a 3-4-1-2 almost that we seem to be playing at this moment in time. So he has managed to change it up. Our away record has not been great, but it is getting a lot better. But I am going into this game with a little bit of wariness, because we haven't actually beaten you at the King Power since 2019.
Oh, well, there you go then. Now you're bound to beat us, aren't you? This season, and there's some interesting games for both of us. Newcastle on Saturday, which is the early kickoff. It's We want Newcastle to win. I'm sure you want Leeds to win. That is one we'll be following very closely. I'm out. I'm doing a Ranieri. I'm going out while that one's on, so I can't worry about it. Villa Tottenham will affect you, Doug, more than us. Chelsea Nottingham Forest. Come on, Frank. We need to win. Palace Bournemouth, who really gives a damn? No disrespect to either team. It's just not going to affect either of us. Both of them are safe. Man United Wolves will affect you. Obviously, Wolves are safe as well. Southampton Fulham. If Southampton lose, Craig, it's bye-bye Saints.
Yeah, I agree with Doug. I think Saints have gone now. They can't catch 3 teams. I can't see them catching 3 teams. That's like everybody else has just not got to pick up any points, and they've suddenly got to win 3 on the bounce.
Yeah,
it's not happening. I think that was their chance. You know, they did brilliantly to get back in the game against Forest, but then sadly couldn't hang on. That point would have not only would it have given them an extra point, obviously, but it would have taken 2 away from Forest, and it would have kept another club within reach. So I think it's a step too far for Southampton now.
Yeah,
I think also the thing is as well, the results from Monday with obviously Everton winning 5-1 at Brighton, which was absolutely mad. I never even saw that coming. I mean, Brighton conceding 5 goals is a rarity in itself, but Everton scoring 5 is a big rarity in itself. I think it's only the second time I think about 10 years that they've scored 5 goals, especially away from home as well. But yeah, that Forest Southampton game, that was a topsy-turvy game because I never saw 4-3 coming. I thought maybe like Forest maybe get like 2-1, 3-1 or something like that. But I just think the results on Monday have kind of made a big change of it. Look, Everton might get beat by Manchester City, and they'll be right back in it as well. It all depends on Monday. It all depends on Monday's game, I think. I mean, look, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest have 1 win away from home all season, and that was against Southampton. So that kind of puts things into perspective.
Nottingham Forest is they've shown bottle in some of their games. You know, they've beaten you. I'm sorry to keep mentioning that, but they've been getting results like that. We just haven't. And when you look, the thing with that Everton game is, and I said it earlier, and I'll say it again, they wanted that. They were fighting for their manager. Our guys almost like to say, like, well, we're going to stay up. We're too good to go down. And if we do it, when you've got your top players, be that Maddison, Barnes, and well, we know Tielemans is leaving or probably leaving. There's another 5 that are out of contract. What the fuck are they going to play for? They're just going to look and say, well, I don't care if we go, whether we stay up or go down. There's no... I mean, I've put there, Craig, Leicester playing for pride. Do they have any left? I cannot name one player from Fulham game that showed any pride in wearing that blue shirt at all. I don't think they've got any pride left. I think they are a disgrace to the club at the moment.
Well, it's you know me, Chris. I'd love to argue against you. I've spent all season doing it. Yeah. But it's hard to, isn't it? As I say, going back to that point before, it's a minimum. You know, you can take away all the talent, but it's a minimum that you put yourself about, that you give 100%. You know, I watch games and I'm thinking, again, you hark back to when you played, that there's no way I'd stay on the pitch because I'm getting at least a couple of yellows, if not a red, you know, because you should have that pride in your performance. And if your team are not doing it, then you'd be hearing around clattering into people. You know, showing that bit of pride. And I think the team that he needs to put out, I think we're in a situation now where the people on the pitch need to have more character than talent. I don't think that's what Everton had. Everton played like we did when we won the league. They just kept it tight through the middle of the pitch, tight at the back, and played on the break. And when they went with 3, 4, 5 players at a time. That's what we should have been doing. And I would say that the team I picked for that Fulham game would have given them a much better game than the team that he put out. Because we'd talked about it. We talked about how open we were through the middle of the pitch. And he played exactly the same middle lot And again, Samari got caught on the ball, and there's no cover.
I
I don't understand people who make a career in football management not seeing the basics and then doing something about it. I'm just astonished, to be honest.
I mean, we're going to obviously look at your team this week. It's a very interesting team that you've chosen. And again, I'd like to disagree with a lot of what you've said, and I can't. As I said to Brad the other day, we've both, me and Brad and myself and you and Craig, we're like, when women work together and the periods all sync. we're the same. To me, Doug, look, let's have a look at two clubs and compare them. Manchester City and Leicester City. A tale of two cities, if you like. See what I did there? Tale of two cities. Oh, no, God. I'm working to the wrong audience here, aren't I? Manchester City, 2-0 up against, who was it? Was it Leeds? There were Leeds, wasn't it? 2-0 up against
Leeds, yeah.
Penalty came up, and the guy was going for a hat trick. And I can understand that. Pep Guardiola on the side going absolutely apoplectic. He didn't want him to take the penalty, and he wanted De Bruyne to take the penalty because he's obviously the number one penalty taker. And he was absolutely mad. Proven right 2 minutes later when obviously Leeds got one back. Too little, too late. But you could see where he was coming from. Look at Leicester. Mr. I haven't got a hair out of place. I'm going to smile in case the camera's on my face. Maddison picks the ball up to take, and then he can have the glory of saying, I've saved Leicester City, and puts the worst penalty that I've seen since Jan Kermorgant. And I'd put it equal with Jan Kermorgant's penalty. And Dean Smith comes out and says, we don't have a recognised penalty taker. Bollocks. So to me, that sums the two clubs up.
Yeah, 100%. And as well, I remember when you had Vardy taking the penalty kicks. It just seems to be sort of changing. I mean, we've got Mo Salah taking our penalties at the moment. Yes, he's missed a couple, but he scores his fair share as well. Man City were very, very lucky to beat. Leeds at the weekend. I thought Leeds played very, very well as well. But I just look at Leicester at the moment, and whenever you seem to sort of go 1-0 behind, there's a sort of a tendency to then go sort of 2-0, 3-0.
Whenever. It's all the time, isn't it?
I mean, I think the one game, if we're looking back on this season, and if you are to obviously go down, it is that Everton game. That Everton game you had to win, in my opinion. You had to win, and you didn't. And look, Matt, that was a tale of the two penalty kicks as well. And look, I think as well, when you look at it, Vardy hasn't got his legs anymore. Let's just say that he hasn't got the pace anymore. I think that's a given. But I just look at Leicester at the moment, and defensively, like Brendan Nsiyunshu, who has been completely frozen down by Brendan Rodgers. I wasn't going to call. Yeah, I was waiting until you were about to say that. I was waiting for you to basically interject me and then say,
not on camera. I would never interject you on camera.
But no, he was basically frozen out by Brendan Rodgers, and look where it's left him now. He's away to Atletico Madrid, all because of what happened. And I just look at this team, and I very doubt myself in saying this, but has anybody actually improved on the Brendan Rodgers?
Well, this is what Bellum has just asked here. Improved, but he's also said, has Dean Smith the correct man? Has he improved Leicester at all? Craig, I mean, he was pretty much given a poison chalice, wasn't he? And is he the correct man or not? We won't know. We won't know till the end of the season, but could have been worse. We could have had Jesse Marsh.
Well, you say that. He might have been brilliant. We never know. This is
it is unlikely, isn't it? Let's be honest. Can I just say,
I tell you what, they would have worked harder.
Sorry, Craig. West Ham were 1-0 down. They've just come back and won the first leg of the semi-final 2-1.
Brilliant! Come on, West Ham.
Look at how their season was going, and look at it now. Should we have stuck with Rodgers, Craig?
Yeah, that's it. That's the mistake we made. We got rid of Rodgers too soon, didn't we? Clearly, that was it.
Well, you would, if you to be fair, if you had got Jesse Marsh, you would have been marching on.
Yeah. Shall I just leave the room and leave you two to have a pun off?
I suppose, really, he would have been better off going to Saints, because they're the ones that always go marching in, aren't they?
That's true.
Yeah. But I forgot what my question was to you now.
Is it, what are we all doing here?
Probably.
No, you said, would we be better under Jesse March? To be honest, we would have run more and we would have worked harder under Jesse March. We might still not have got the results, but he would not allow his team to lay down. If we'd have got beaten by 5 at Fulham or conceded 5 at Fulham, it's because we would have been at the other end trying to score 5.
Yes.
But rather than just laying down with a whimper, I don't think, for me, even if these guys keep us up now, I'm of that opinion where it needs a refresh, it needs a reset, it needs some fresh thinking to come in, someone who's got some different ideas rather than just someone. I think in the first couple of games you saw a little bit of a bounce. For the first time, I think we went 3 unbeaten, which was amazing for us this season. But then he's not playing much different of a team other than Soyuncu coming in and Vardy. He's not playing much different to the way that Brendan was. It's the same players in there. He's making the same mistakes and not changing things. So I'm a little bit disappointed, to be honest, that you'd have thought with John Terry being there as well, you'd have thought, right, the first thing you're going to do is shut up shop, stay in games, and then hope that your quality is going to allow you to make 1 or 2 chances to take it. Yeah. We would have been, we talked about this, Chris, and I know you mocked me a few times by saying a draw's no good. Is it a draw's no good? If we'd have had another 5 draws, we wouldn't be having these conversations. You have to stay in games. When you're not playing well, you stay in a game, you take the point and you move on to the next one. You don't capitulate like we've done.
Would you take a point on Monday night?
Yes, bloody would, to be honest.
But would it be
because
enough?
I think no, in its own, it won't be enough, but it will keep the season alive. I don't think 3 points beating West Ham, I think it'll be over by then. Yeah. I don't think, unless we get at least a point in these next 2 games, the season's over by the time we get to West Ham.
Yes, yeah. I just want to stick with Craig, sorry, Doug, for a couple of questions. Something I mentioned the other day to Brad, Craig. I like a good conspiracy theory. And Jamie Vardy, I'm going to be honest with you, I think he's played better under Dean Smith. He's been picked under Dean Smith, because we haven't got Nacho. But I think at least he has looked like the old Jamie Vardy. He's getting a bit of service now. But being good friends with James Maddison, do you think he said, don't worry, mate, I'll miss the penalty so you don't look so bad?
I think that's pushing conspiracy theories right as far as they could possibly go, to be honest, Chris.
I don't know what you mean. I've got a sneaky feeling for that.
I'll tell you what, the penalty, I watched the penalty that Maddison took and scored against Fulham was in virtually identically the same place as Vardy's. The keeper just dived the other way. That's the only difference between those 2 penalties. And half the time, that's the difference between, unless you're pinging it in a top corner, you just hope that the keeper goes the wrong way.
I've got to say, as much as I've criticised the prima donna over the last few weeks, the fact that he had the balls to go up and take that second penalty, I'll got to give him credit for that. After everything that had gone on.
I'd have liked to have seen the wider camera shot, because I bet when we got given that penalty, everyone else turned away, just avoided eye contact with anyone who had the ball. It was like, nah, not for me.
But look, the last thing, and sorry, Doug, please do bear with me. I do apologise.
Don't apologise.
But and I'll ask for your opinion on this after Craig as well. You said then, Craig, very good point. Whatever happens, wherever we are next season, we need a reset. And I don't think I did a show last night with Dave, and we looked back at the 2007-2008 season, which you may remember was the season when the trapdoor opened and we went down to the third tier for the one and only time in our history. And there's a lot of similarities. It had been coming all season. It wasn't a surprise. And I've often said that the best thing that happened to us that season was going down. Because had we stayed up, we'd have papered over the cracks. I'm not saying that Ian Holloway wouldn't have done any good for us because he went on and got Blackpool promoted. But we went down. We had the change. Pearson came in. He didn't, he cleared the decks of a lot of players. In some ways, obviously I want to stay up, but is it going to be that awful if we do go down?
I think the fear that you have with going down is that you don't get straight back up, or you get sucked into it. I think you've got 2 seasons to get up, to be honest, and then it becomes a struggle because you lose your parachute payments. I know you get 3 years, but they tail off. Your best players have gone. You're not as attractive to players to bring them in anymore. You're becoming a middling one, and then it can take 4, 5, 6, 7. We've seen other teams. We did it. Derby are down there now. Ipswich have been stuck down there for quite a while and have managed to finally get back. So I think that's the only. I think if you said to most fans, you can either stay up and have another season of struggle, or we'll go down and I guarantee that you'll come back up next season. Most fans will say, I'll take that. I'll take going and seeing my team win every week. I'll take a bit of glory, because at the end of it, if we get relegated and we start well next season, this season will be forgotten.
Yeah.
Fans just love watching their team win.
League One was amazing. 98 points we ended up with that season, and we lost 4 games all season.
We need to get back. I think what we've lost, the club has lost its identity.
Yeah.
It had the identity under Pearson, Martin O'Neill. Pearson took it on, culminating in that fantastic season. And then since then, we've lost our identity of what Leicester is. Leicester were, and we still play the song at the start of the game, Underdog by Kasabian. That's what we were. And we were every other fan's favourite team.
Yeah.
Because we were fighting against it. But it was built on grit and determination, not prima donnas. And I think that's the reset we need. We need to get back to the Foxes never quit.
And certainly not fearless, because I say they're more gutless than fearless at the moment. Doug, if we go down, we're not going to do a Burnley and come straight back up. I guarantee you that, or even a Norwich and and a Watford. But if you go down, like Craig said, then it does give you a chance to come back. And if you come straight back up, that you can come back up as it sounds too early, can't you? And if it does take a couple of seasons, rebuild the club, get it back to where we were, get the identity back, and then come back stronger.
Yeah, we know from obviously, I think it's very, very rare a club goes down and then completely dominates the league as they did, as Burnley did. And 101 points is absolutely amazing. But the one thing we know, the Championship is one of the hardest leagues to get out of. It really, really is. And the weirdest thing as well, hi Rennie, hope you're well. The one thing that really surprised me is actually the 3 teams that went down. The 3 teams that went down are ex-Premier League. Wigan, Blackpool and Reading all were relegated in the Championship. And Cardiff City could have been relegated if it wasn't for a points deduction that obviously Reading got. It is one of the hardest leagues to get out of, but I don't see Leicester being that team to then go straight back down again. Like I can't. I think if Everton were to go down, and I think probably that would be a discussion point for a completely second thing. Yeah. But I look at the teams that are obviously coming up, and obviously you look at it, Plymouth are coming up. Fantastic for them to come back. Ipswich are back. It's nice to see Ipswich coming back up. The next thing we need is probably Sheffield Wednesday to come up. Yes, I know obviously Sheffield United are coming back up, but obviously Burnley, but Sheffield Wednesday back in the Championship would be very, very good. And then you've obviously got like the teams in the playoffs this season: Luton Town, Middlesbrough, Coventry, and Sunderland. Like Sunderland haven't been in the Premier League since 2015-2016. Coventry haven't been in.
The worst nightmare for us to go down, Forest to stay up, and Coventry to come up.
I know.
There for you, Craig. TM, you're my second favourite team. I'm sure that's everything to do with you, Craig. It really is. But look, we've got a game on Monday. Now I don't want to scare you, Craig, but let's stick with Doug for this one. Yeah, you go. Not going in on bad form, are you? I mean, you struggled against Forest, and this is. I mean, I'm looking at this and I'm seeing you haven't actually demolished any team. You struggled against Forest and only beat them 3-2, and they gave you a good run for your money. You beat West Ham by the odd goal, Tottenham by the odd goal, Fulham by the odd goal, Brentford by the odd goal. So in a way, there's a little bit there for Leicester to look at and go, all right, I may be grasping at straws here, but, looking at it and thinking, well, possibly.
Yeah, no, look, that's a fair point. I mean, those games, the West Ham game could have gone either way. West Ham started really, really well. And it was just a case of us, grinding out. And again, most of those games, we've grinded out those results. And as well as that, the Leeds result was completely coming. I think if you concede 5 against Palace 1 week, you probably expect to concede another. Well, obviously it was 6 then, but it's quite weird. Liverpool have scored 6 against Leeds, 7 against Manchester United, and 9 against Bournemouth this season. And those, apart from those sort of 3 games, like I don't think we played well in any game. To be honest with you, maybe Manchester City at home, but that was obviously a 1-0 win as well. But even still, I don't think we played well in any single game. Defensively, we're in absolute shambles. We've been a shambles for most of the season as well. Like, okay, Trent Alexander-Arnold is now having a new lease of life in this sort of this midfield hybrid role, whatever you want to call it as well. Van Dijk has completely lost his pace. As well, and when you look at Van Dijk as well, Konate is our best defender this season by a complete mile. Robertson and Tsimikas seem to be interchanging. One plays 1 week, and then the other plays another week. It's really our 2 best players this season. Actually, I'll rephrase that. Our best player this season, 100%. Has been our goalkeeper. Now, when you look at that, you think, right, this is really bad when your keeper is making so many saves. But the fact is, if it wasn't for Alisson Becker, Liverpool would probably be about 15th or 16th. And that's the reality of it. Yes, Mo Salah's getting fantastic. He's getting his goals as well. We're getting players back at the right time as well. Luis Diaz is coming back. As well, and the one lease of life as well was Bajcetic, who's obviously not going to be fit for this game. He's obviously out for the rest of the season, but he came into that sort of midfield, and look, our midfield's been completely neglected, and now we're getting linked with every Tom, Dick, and Harry to play our midfield because our midfield is completely aging. There's players that are leaving, like Keita's going, Milner's going, Ox is going, Firmino's going, so there is going to be a bit of a sort of a rebuild, if you want to say, and look, the last game between the sides, you scored all 3 goals. This is, but again, I'm just going way into
go there. I knew you'd go there. Goodbye. Well, the fact that you couldn't score, that we had to do it for you. I was about to say. Looking at ours there, Craig. I mean, 5 points out of 15, and just while Doug was talking, I was just checking the 5 previous games. We got 1 out of 15 in the 5 previous. I mean, did we lull ourselves into a false sense of, well, look at this, we're back, sort of thing?
I don't think so. I think we're all disappointed in the fact that we only got 2 points out of the Everton and Leeds, and you would have been hoping for 4 points from that and at least a point at Fulham. So you'd have been hoping for 5 points out of those 3. It's difficult to see, and you'll do the team and the predictions, but it's difficult to see where we've got a result coming from against Liverpool, against that form that you've got there, 5 in a row, albeit all 1-goal victories. The only sort of glimmer of hope I can see for us is Klopp's insistent stubbornness in playing a high line.
Yeah.
And I think that may give us an opportunity. You saw that, I mean, or was it half a boot's length by Mbeumo, and you'd have been pegged back in that game. So it seems to be whatever's happened this season, Klopp refuses to drop his defence 10 yards, and you're always pushing up. And I think if we can almost get back to an old style Leicester, not even look. If you get the ball, just put it over the top and hope that one of the 3 forwards can get on the end of it. And if you keep doing that, it also puts in the mind of the fullbacks, hang on a minute, I can't go forward, because all they're doing, as soon as it breaks down, they're putting it in behind me. It doesn't have to look pretty. It doesn't need to look pretty and play out from the back. Get the ball, put it in behind a high line, and you will create chances. And that's the only glimmer of hope that I've got for this game.
Looking at that, though, like you said, Doug, last time we played at the KP, we beat you 1-0.
Yeah,
I think that was Chowdhury was the super. I mean, I remember, was that the game? I think when he came off and Rodgers was blowing so much smoke up his arse that we never saw him again.
Lookman scored, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Lookman. Yeah. No, I remember that game. Salah missed a penalty in that game as well.
Yeah, hit the bar.
So,
yeah,
he had the crossbar. So yeah, look, it was another deserved win for you guys that day. You did deserve to win, and again, I think that was one of our our defeats. That sort of was the cat. I think you were one of the reasons we didn't win the league, because if we had beaten Leicester, we would have won the league.
You knocked us out the Carabao Cup, so to you.
Yeah, that is very, very true. And again, you were 3-1 up in that game.
No.
But no, look, Leicester Liverpool. Usually the games between the sides are, very, very close between each other. And I'm expecting a very, very tough game on Monday.
I'm going to get Doug to do a thing a little bit later, which is I want him to predict all the remaining fixtures and see who, from his predictions, stays up and who goes down. I mean, Brad did it with me the other night, and I thought I had to rein Brad in, otherwise I'd have had us qualifying for Europe. So I'm looking forward to getting a neutral's perspective on it. You're very much still playing, like you say, and I think if you achieve top 4 this season, Doug, that will be an amazing achievement. And I think it will be for Man United as well, with the sort of rebuild that they've had on. But like you say, we've got Newcastle, we've got West Ham, and just watching them on the screen tonight, that fills me with dread. All I can hope is that if they have got through to the final, that maybe the mind will be on that. You've got Villa at home and, well, Southampton away. Southampton, The chances are Southampton will be down by then. and that could be a bit more of a difficult game because once the team is actually down, they play with a renewed freedom, don't they?
Yeah, but then I'm thinking that if we were to actually go goal crazy again, I'd be looking at potentially, sending Southampton down with a big defeat. But I mean, yeah, Southampton away has always been a tricky ground for us to go to, but I just had a feeling this season. I think you and I probably had Southampton in our bottom three, Chris. I think we keep speaking to each other constantly, and I think we kept saying to each other, Southampton, this is going to be the season that they sadly go down, unfortunately. And, obviously, I did have Bournemouth and Fulham in the other two places. So obviously that's completely wrong. I know you. Did you have Leeds? I think you may have had Leeds.
I had Leeds in, yes. I had Southampton, Leeds, and I think Bournemouth. But in my defence with Bournemouth, that was based on the cardigan.
Scott Parker.
I realised that my predictions were totally and utterly buggered when they got rid of Scott Parker. So that was my 3 to go down. So I could still possibly, as Meatloaf once so beautifully put it, 2 out of 3 ain't bad. But look, let's have a look at some score predictions. I'm going to bring the thing up here, and please nobody think bad of me. I still love my team, and obviously I do want them to stay up, but my prediction is just how I think things are going at the moment. Jerry Taggart's isn't there. He's only just messaged me through. I always thought that, like, Jerry Taggart's just messaged me during the show. Hey. But I do believe he's actually been out on the piss with his prediction. So that's why he's been late getting back to me. But look, here we go. Brad has gone for a 2-2 draw. I have gone for a 7-1 to Liverpool because I just think when you look, if Fulham can put 5 past us, and that 5-3 was not a 5-3. You cannot look at that game and get. If anybody came in afterwards and you looked at the stats, it made it look like a very tight game. You look at the score, it looked like a very tight game. But it wasn't. We were played off the pitch by a Fulham side without their 2 best players. Now, if Liverpool, depending which Liverpool turn up, but if the good Liverpool turn up, we could be on the end of it, and we could see our only advantage, which is our goal difference, going out the window. Craig there has gone, well, he's not gone quite as bad as me. He's gone 3-1. Agreeing with Ian Marshall, 3-1. Ian Wilson's gone 2-0. Steve Lynex has gone. I think Ian Wilson has just decided that, I don't care, I'm just going to support Leicester now. Steve Lynex has gone 3-0, which is a bit of a hope because he does sometimes do the reverse psychology. Steve Walsh has gone 2-1 to Leicester.
So and after extra time?
Yeah, there's an asterisk next to him because that is his second choice prediction. He gave me his proper position, said, "Oh, please don't use that one. I better go 2-1 to Leicester." So that is why the 2-1 is up. Jerry Taggart, who's just coming to me now, has gone 2-1 to Leicester as well. So that's what I say. I think he's been out on the piss. Craig, first of all, you've gone 3-1 to Liverpool. I know that's your head rather than your heart. And let's be honest with you, with me as well. My heart says 9-0 Leicester, but it ain't going to happen.
I think your heart's a bit more bigger than mine. Jeez, if you're in 9-0, even I wouldn't push it that I would happily take a 1-0 right now. To be fair, as I said earlier, I'd take a 1-1. I just can't see us keeping Liverpool out. As I say, the glimmer of hope we've got is that we can get back to basics and just play in behind your high line. Vardy does look a little bit more like his old self. He is pushing on the. I know what will happen. It'll probably be a really tight game. Vardy will score in the 88th minute. We'll go mental, and it'll get pulled back from VAR, and he's offside.
I thought you were going to say we'll go 1-0 up, then there'll be 10 minutes of injury time, and we'll lose 3-1.
Probably, but I I just can't see us keeping you guys. I mean, Diaz coming back is huge for you guys. I think he's a real talent. Jota always scores against us. So, you might as well just start. We might as well start the game 1-0 and you leave him on the bench. I just
always
can't
go 1-0 down anyway, Craig, don't we?
I know. I think have we gone behind in 19 games? I think something stupid this season.
Almost a record, another record.
Yeah.
That we've got. Not you.
So, as much as I would love to, and usually I'm I can't go against my team. I just think it's foolish thinking that we might win.
Can I just say that the bottom of the prediction league this season with the X-Foxes is Steve Walsh. That's all I would say. And second from bottom is the gentleman in the middle there. Now, Craig, I mean, you think I was joking. I actually said that, didn't I? Or was it that what I said on your show the other night? Or was it 10-0 I said just in jest? But I actually did pop on towards the end of your show and I saw what prediction you'd gone for, Doug, and I'm hurt.
Yeah.
I've got to say it got me right there. It really did. Talk about kicking a man when he's down.
Yeah, no, I think I just think the way you defended against Fulham, I just think if you give us way too much space, like I think the one person to watch in this game is not obviously Salah or anyone like that. Gakpo was the one to watch out for. He has had a new lease of life in this false nine position. He's been fabulous. He's been absolutely fabulous. I think he's got 6 goals this season so far. He just has a bit of a turn of pace, and if he's running at your back line, it could be very, very interesting. Iverson is, I mean, it's an interesting one. I thought Iverson should have done a lot better for the first goal of the first goal for the Fulham game, but he has actually had some good games. He has actually had some good games this season, Iverson, and as well. Yes, look, I know that that is the possibility. Southampton will be gone if they lose to Fulham anyway. But
what did you say? What is your prediction?
Oh,
we've been skirting around it.
4-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, that's what I've got.
Right,
4-1
okay,
to Liverpool. Which is fair enough, to be honest with you. Says the person that's gone 7-1 Liverpool. Welcome to a few people, Mr. B there. Zane, I'm nervous for this game because though we've been winning, we haven't been playing great. A little bit of a grain of hope there. Firmino will score 2. I'm surprised because I thought it would be Steve Lynex bottom judges what he predicts. No. In fact, in fairness to Steve Lynex, at least he does go for honesty. Steve Walsh, bless him, Mr. Leicester through and through, has always predicted us to win, and of course we haven't been this season. 4-1, he said. Rich is in. Good evening, Rich. How are you?
Hello, Rich.
And Rene is back in as well. Okay, so look, let's have a bit of fun. We'll run through it very, very quickly. But like I say, I did do this with Brad the other night, and then we've got Craig's quiz to come. It'll be interesting for Doug to sit in the background and see if he knows the answer to this as well. But this was what Brad came up with, and like I say, I did have to rein him in here. But he has got Southampton bottom on 25, Leeds on 31 in 19th, Forest in 33 in 18th, and Leicester with 34 in 17th. And then Everton 36. And then after that, like I said, the others are safe anyway. So what we're going to do, have a little bit of fun. Let me just bring it up here. And all you got to do, Doug, is just go home win, draw, or away win. I don't know if we've done this with you before.
No, I don't think you have. No, I don't think I was on the show that you all predicted the results or something. So
that said, we did that, but there was about 10 games to go, and it took us about a week and a half to finish it off. But just basically, just read out as we go through them what you think the results will be, and I want you to go with your head, not with your heart. Or not what you think will happen sort of for Liverpool, etc. But and we'll just
Yeah.
see where you get everybody finishing. So let's start with Arsenal Brighton,
Home one.
Villa Tottenham,
Home one.
oh, Brentford West Ham,
Home one.
Chelsea Forest.
Draw.
You bastard. First chance you've got there. Yeah. Alice Bournemouth.
Draw.
Everton Man City.
To be honest, part of me is wanting the Ev to actually get something off City, but it ain't happening. Man City.
Man City. I thought for a minute there you had me worried. Leeds Newcastle.
Away one.
Oh, Leicester Liverpool. Now, what we're going to do with this one? Are we going to go for a Liverpool win, Craig? Should we let him go for his Liverpool win?
It's Doug's prediction, so and he's put 4-0, so
yeah, away win.
Away win. I was hoping to change his mind. Man United Wolves.
Draw.
Draw. Southampton Fulham.
Fulham. Away one.
Bournemouth Man United.
Bournemouth.
Ooh. Brighton Southampton.
Brighton.
Well, I'm not so sure now, you know. Fulham Palace.
Ooh. I think Palace are on the beach. We'll go Fulham.
Liverpool Villa.
I think that's our hardest game left, that Villa game. I will go for us to just sneak that one, home win.
City Chelsea.
I mean, how many do you want City to get against Chelsea? I think City have scored 4 or more against Chelsea in the last 3 games that they had. Man City win.
Yes. Newcastle Leicester.
Do you know what? I'm going to go away one.
Really?
I'm going to go against the grind and I'm going to go an away one.
I think that game, that could really hurt our goal difference. I just got a feeling. The way the crowd get behind Newcastle, I think that's their last home game of the season.
Yeah.
I think the way our defence has been, I think they could put a hatful past us. Anyway, moving on to more cheerful news.
Let's piss on our part. He's just given us a win here, 3 points, you know. That said, Newcastle do look beatable sometimes. I know everybody's saying like, well, Arsenal beat them away from, at their place, but let's face it, we're no Arsenal, are we? But here we go. Talking of Arsenal, Forest Arsenal.
If this was the FA Cup, it would be Nottingham Forest, because Nottingham Forest have Arsenal's number in the FA Cup, but it's the Premier League, Arsenal.
Tottenham Brentford.
Brentford.
Well, yeah, good job, TM.
Oh.
West Ham Leeds.
Oh, jeez. I have a really horrible feeling that could be the game that probably sees Leeds go for Carl's sake.
Your best man.
Yeah, my best man. Draw. I'm going to go draw.
Wolves Everton.
Wolves.
Arsenal. But Wolves are going to be busy that day. Arsenal Wolves.
Arsenal.
Villa Brighton.
Villa.
Brentford Man City.
Much as I want to say that Brentford will beat Man City, I think that's got City win.
Chelsea Newcastle.
Newcastle.
Palace Forest.
Palace.
It is. Forest are horrendous away from home, aren't they? Everton Bournemouth.
Everton.
Leeds Tottenham.
Leeds.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leicester West Ham.
Leicester.
Seriously again?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like I like Doug. I've always liked you, mate. I've said that, haven't I? Man United Fulham.
Do you know what? I think United will win, but that will not be easy. Man United.
Man United. Southampton Liverpool. Gosh, surely got to be Liverpool.
Away win. Away win.
Yeah. Newcastle Brighton.
I think there's cracks starting to show. I'm going to go away win.
This actually is being played a week today. This game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if they were to lose that game, I think the pressure would be massively, massively on them. I think the thing is, Liverpool can only get 71 points. So even if Newcastle were to get 71 points, you would probably assume that they would probably be, getting Champions League football. But I've got a feeling Brighton might win that. I'm going to go away win.
Away win. Brighton Man City.
I'm going Brighton.
No, seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
I actually have a feeling Brighton might actually beat Manchester City. I know they lost 5-1.
Yeah.
I know they lost 5-1 against Everton, but stranger things have happened. That is not an easy game for City. Not an easy game at all.
I can't see the screen because I'm on another screen, but has Craig fallen off his chair yet?
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. I mean, Man City that's a game of two teams who want to keep possession. It's not like Man City are going to hit Brighton on the break, so I could see that.
Yeah, Man United. Oh, they play Man United Chelsea.
Can both of them lose?
If only. If only.
Eric Sevenhag against Frank Fat Lampard. Draw. United got a terrible record against Chelsea.
Well, we're about to find out where everybody finishes. And we'll do that right after this.
Hello, Matt Elliott here. Hi, Alan Smith here.
Hey guys, Ian Hume here.
Hi everybody, Jerry Taggart here.
Be sure to watch
Chris and Leicester Till I Die TV
for all the latest Leicester City news and information.
You can also subscribe on YouTube and various social media channels for the latest updates and news on Leicester City Football Club.
Come on, you foxes!
Leicester Till I Die podcasts on the Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Anchor, and all podcast platforms.
Something is coming. Something big.
Oh, nothing like building up the tension, is there?
Looking forward to this.
I'm not. Okay, so we're going to start at the top, and then we'll go down one place at a time. So who's going to win the Premier League trophy, according to Doug? Manchester City.
Oh, 1 point. 1 point.
1 point from Arsenal. Can you see that on your screens, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes, you can see Arsenal. I say I'm on a different screen, so I can't see what you're seeing. So, Man City, Arsenal by 1 point. Oh, I can imagine. I can see them having to open the flood barriers or close the flood barriers already with all the Arsenal fans' tears. It'll be coming back. Arteta out. In third place, Liverpool, but quite a way behind there, Doug. Quite a way behind.
Yeah, we can only get 71 points. We can only get 71 points.
You must have gone for a win for all of your games.
Yeah, must have done. Yeah.
Yeah. Fourth, Newcastle with 71. So those are the champions.
Ooh.
United on 68 in fifth.
I think the pressure's getting to Manchester United. I really do.
Yeah. Brighton a creditable sixth, and I think that would give them the conference, would it? With 64.
That gives them Europa League, that.
Seventh is conference.
Okay. Seventh is Villa. And I've got to say, well done to Villa. When you look where they were this season, what a turnaround. And it shows making the right decision at the right time and getting the right guy. And, well done to them all. Well done to Villa. They really, they deserve it, to be honest with you. It'd be nice to see them back in Europe. Tottenham only in 8th. Does that give them Europe at all, 8th?
Don't think so.
Yeah.
Don't think so, no.
Point ahead of Brentford in 9th on 50. Craig. Fulham in 10th on 54. Palace in 11th on 44. Chelsea in 12th on 44. Ooh, the on goal difference. Wolves in 13th on 44. Bournemouth on 43 in 14th. Oh, God, I don't know if I can do this.
Uh-oh.
In 15th, West Ham with 38. So they were the teams I think will agree were pretty much.
I think that's Leicester.
I think
it is. That might be Leicester.
Yeah. I think you've relegated us. Leicester.
No, I haven't.
Oh, Leicester I think gave us 2 wins there, which gave us.
I did, yeah.
Everton in 17th, Leeds, Forest, and Southampton in 24th. So, well, we love you, Doug. Craig, I got your message. Appreciate you got to go very, very quickly. If you know the answer to this, Doug, keep it to yourself. It's a bit of a competition me and Craig are having, but it's basically a foot in both camps. I'm going to show you the players' teams of where he's been throughout his career, and Craig has to try and guess him. I currently am leading 5 points to 2.5. Don't ask how we got that.
I'm shocking at this, Doug. If you have a piece of paper and a pen, feel free to write it down and hold it up. Chris won't see it.
I'll give it a wee go. I'll give it a wee go.
Here we go. There we go.
My Jesus.
Oh my God.
So he's been around. Started at Barnsley, Darlington, Chelsea, Coventry, Liverpool, Blackburn Rovers, Southampton. Now, Doug, don't shout it out, like I say, until we know if Craig can get this. A few loans at Southampton, Leicester, Crawley, Atherstone, Hendon, Stamford, Harrowborough, Clocktown, Darlington, Railway Athletic, and Rainworth Miners Welfare.
Never heard of them. Jesus.
See, one has sprung to mind now, and now it's blocking me thinking of anyone else.
Can I just say that if you want to win this league by the end of the season, you have to get this and the next 2 right. This is more important than whether Leicester stay up or not. Let's be honest.
Yeah. What's the camera?
And I think I've got comments turned off, so I don't think you'd be able to if anybody.
No, I can't see anything. I think as soon as this. Well, as soon as this guy's name came in my head, I just can't think anywhere else now. So I'm just going to end up going with it. I think David Speedy.
You're going for David Speedy. Have you got any thoughts there, Doug?
I had Mike Newell.
That's
I think he played for Everton. We sold him to Everton, I think, Mike Newell.
So you're going for David Speedy?
I am.
Well, all I say is next week I'm going to have to make it harder, aren't I? Because it was.
Well done. Well done.
Well done, Craig. Well done. So 5
I needed that.
1.5. 5 plays to.
It.
Get the next 2 right, and you beat me back. I shouldn't have given you that bloody half, should I? Very quickly, this is what you said about your team. You said we need to block up the middle. Well, so we have to block up the middle, keep tight at the back, and just play it on the break like Everton did against Blackburn. And this is the team that you have gone for.
I have. KDH hasn't played great this season, but I just think with Mendy and KDH, you just need two people who are not going to think particularly offensively and are just going to be happy to sit in and try and break up the play and win the ball.
Yeah.
And again, I haven't been Tete's biggest fan, but I just think if you've got Barnes, Tete and Vardy, you can play in and try and exploit the space in behind Liverpool's fullbacks.
Yeah.
So I think we just keep it tight, try and win it, block the middle, and then just try and play on the break. And I think that team has more chance. Don't really ask the front four to come back and do anything.
No.
Just stay there and test Liverpool's resolve about pushing players forward.
Yeah.
Yes.
And just very quickly, I don't know what Mendy's done wrong, but he's not been liked, has he?
No, and he's in that position. He's been the best player this season for me. He keeps the ball, he wins the ball, and he keeps it neat and tidy. Rarely wastes a pass, and when he sees an opportunity, he'll go forward with it. And I don't know what he's done wrong, to be honest. But again, we just seem to have managers who pick players that everyone else can see shouldn't be in the team. But yeah, as I say, I've dropped Tielemans.
Yeah.
We just need people who can get around the pitch and cover some ground. I think we can't afford luxury players in this game.
I said earlier, didn't I, that we are beginning to merge and agree too much. And I have to say 150%, if he's fit, and I think he is, Ricardo has got to come back in for Castagna. Apparently, Arsenal are looking at Castagna. I'm at the point of saying, please come and take him, because I'm fed up with watching the opposition come down their left-hand side, and he's got his bum buddies up with Faze. He seems to can't sort of separate from him. He's not a centre-back. He's a right-back, and the number of times, the attacking left mid-sided player for the opposition comes down and gets a cross in is scary.
I really like Castagna, but Castagna, I think he's a decent player. I toyed about putting him in on the left, and he's good going forward. It's just too easy to get in behind him. And I think you've got players who'll play little 1-2s, and you're just getting behind him too easy, I think. And he hasn't got that recovery pace that I think Ricardo's got.
Yeah, I at the moment I don't know what it is with him, but he's completely lost it for me. And like I say, he keeps getting drawn. Why? Like I say, he's a right back. What is he doing? As I say, bumming, to put it bluntly, without phasing in the box. If you're going to be bum anybody, I suppose that's the place. But you know what I mean? It's just like, get back where you should be and mark those players that are coming down that side. Look over your shoulder. But there we go. Craig, appreciate you got to go. Really do appreciate you coming in. At Craig Bird is where you can be found. You will be there Monday night.
I will indeed. Watching it like this, no doubt.
Yes. Well, if you can get a signal at all, we'll have to try and get you on to the watch along, just to comment, maybe at half time or whatever. It would be good.
Yeah, well, I'll the cry along. I think it might be.
I'm going to write that down. I like that. I'm going to pinch that cry along. Okay, mate. All the best. I'll let you go. Thank you very much.
Yes, thanks, Chris. Thanks, mate. Doug. Cheers, everyone.
Bye bye.
Cheers, Craig. See you later. See you later.
Oops, let me do that. There we go. Doug, thank you so much for coming in. I think you're going to be the happier of the two of us on come Monday night. I will be watching it like you said, like that. You know, but I'm scared. I'm kind of just resigned, to be honest with you. I think because it's been coming all season. It's not like we've suddenly just dropped out of nowhere. And if the players cannot turn up against Fulham, then, and I'm no disrespect to Fulham, because again they've had a great season and well done to them for where they are. I just think against Liverpool, I know I've gone 7-1, but it could be that embarrassing. And that's our goal difference gone if you do that to us.
I think all you want is really a performance, really, isn't it? Just something to sort of give the crowd a bit of a lift. Like, these are the kind of games you really want to get up for, and as well, and especially like the King Power hasn't been our happy hunting ground recently. So, I think Leicester will look at that and think, yeah, look, this is Liverpool's side. This is very, very good form. Yes, I know they've been sort of scraping results as well, but this is a sort of a chance to sort of get a scalp.
It is, but when you look, I mean, we didn't expect anything against Manchester City. Wolves, Leeds, Everton, and Fulham were the winnable games for us. But out of 4, so out of a possible 12 points, we got 5, which probably is not. It's relegation form, and that's the scary thing. Look, Doug, thank you so much for coming on. It's on your channel as well. Everybody, make sure you go and give Doug. I know he's Scottish, but he's nice. We like him. So go over and give him a subscribe and smash the likes if you're watching on his channel. But just give it a shout out, mate.
Yeah, and thanks to everyone who's obviously watched over on my channel and obviously on Chris's channel. And we'll do it all again on Monday evening.
Yeah, maybe this will be the last time we'll do this for at least 12 months.
No, if you go down, you know where I am. Like, I'm a message away if you ever need anything. And obviously, you've been a big friend of mine, and I'm being a big friend of yours as well. So. No, as I said,
who's told you that?
No, as I said, it's all about supporting each other in the end of the day. And I don't see us.
Joke off. We still got to do. I've got some jokes.
Yeah, so we still have that to sort of schedule in. But no, it's been a pleasure, and I'm looking forward to Monday's game, and obviously the watch along together on Monday as well.
I'm not looking forward to it at all, but there we go. But hey, whatever happens, it's the Women's World Cup, so a bit of sunshine to look.
That is true. That is very true as well.
In the summer. Anyway, mate, all the best. I'd wish you all the best on Monday, but I don't mean it. But for the rest of the season, basically, if you keep Man United out the top 4, go for it, mate.
Well, hopefully we do, but we shall see.
We shall see. Thanks very much, mate. Take care. See you Monday.
See you Monday. Take care. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's just do that. There we go. Thanks to Doug there. Dugout Football Channel. Make sure you get over there and give him a support if you are from my stream. If you're from his stream and you like what we do on this channel, LTID TV on YouTube, give us a subscribe. We're going for the 2K, trying to get it by the end of the season, but I don't think we're going to get it. I think we're going to fall just short. Not unlike Leicester City this season. If you saw it at the start, please go and check out Gorinda and look for that. Look for that heading there on the LTID TV YouTube channel. And if there's that one as well, you can also, if you like that, check out, not that one because it's nothing, check out that one and hear me have a rant after the Fulham game. But great. Thanks to Doug so very, very much. We will see you tomorrow night. I'm on a Liverpool channel at 7. I know I'm a sucker for punishment. And then we're back at 9 o'clock for the Prediction League. Should I change my 7-1? Okay, look. It is what it is. It's football at the end of the day. We love our club wherever they will do. And whatever Gorinda and whatever Brian says, whatever league we're in, we will still support Leicester City because we are the Leicester City boys. Look, thanks to Craig and thanks to Doug for coming on. Really, really, really do appreciate it. Thanks to everybody that's been in the chat, whether you've been on Doug's channel or my channel. Really too many to name out. If you've been listening on podcast, thank you so very much for doing that as well. Really do appreciate it. All the major podcast platforms, Leicester Till I Die. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and click that notification bell. And if you fancy joining, because we are going to be doing, once we get to a certain membership level, we're going to be doing some members-only videos. That sounds ruder than it was meant to, but you know what I mean. It's just $1.99 of your good English pounds a month, cheap at half the price, bronze price, and you're getting the gold benefits. I will see you tomorrow at 9. This has been LTID TV. I've been Chris, and this is Arnie. Good night.
Thanks for watching. These videos are tremendous. You'd better like them too, or I'll be back.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
That will conclude this evening's entertainment.